A history fiction thriller set in Kerala in India to the US to Peru in South America to various cities in Europe. Time frames ranging from modern day to mid 15th century. This is the story of Francis Itticora, written by the author T D Ramakrishnan and published by DC Books in 2009. Now, who is Francis Itticora? That is the question explored throughout this book. The story starts with a man named Xavier Fernando Itticora, who is a retired American soldier, a war veteran. He is reaching out to this woman named Rekha in Kochi in Kerala. Why? Rekha and two of her friends run this high-end sexual experience center named The School from an apartment in Kochi. Now, they cater to only high-end, high-paying clientele, and the way they work is understand everything about a prospective client so that they can cater to all of that person's needs. Xavier, while serving a term in Iraq, certain incidents happened after which he's lost his ability to have sex. Now, he's tried all sorts of therapy and he's gone to different places to try a remedy, and he found the school's website online and he's reaching out to them to see if something's different. Additionally, he has heard from his mother that he hails from his forefather, whose name is Francis Itticora, hails from this place called Kerala in India. So that is an additional point of intrigue for him to try out the school. Now, after hearing about Francis Itticora, Rekha and her friends decide to find out who that really was. When they start this fact-finding mission, they start to uncover many interesting facts about this person. However, they did not anticipate how dangerous of a journey this is going to be. Now, according to the story, Francis Itticora was a 15th century pepper merchant who hails from Kunnamkulam in Kerala. He traded spices between Kunnamkulam and Florence in Italy. He was a very gifted sailor and a merchant, but apart from that, he was an extremely learned mathematician. He knew many languages, he knew astronomy, cartography. He was skilled in many aspects. Now, how did a pepper merchant from 15th century Kerala gain so many skills? His father, who was a sailor himself, sent young Francis to one of the secret schools of Hypatia, and that's where he did his training. Now, to understand who Hypatia was, she was a gifted mathematician who lived in 3rd century AD in Alexandria. She was the daughter of the mathematician Theon. Extremely talented in mathematics and philosophy, she started gaining a lot of following and she established her own school as well. However, during that time, her relationship with the Catholic Church ultimately led to her demise. After that, her students, her followers, went to different cities and established secret schools of Hypatia. Itticora was trained in one such school. Now, because of his power and his wealth, Francis Itticora was one of the most influential and powerful people in that Kunnamkulam region at that time. He was even more powerful than the ruler of that area, the Samudri or Zamorin. There are many interesting incidents that are narrated, to showcase his power and his personality during that time. He was not a saint as such. However, because of his exposure to other worlds, he brought about certain social changes and he tried to uplift people from the lower sections of society. Those who were willing to work hard, he employed them, he trained them, and he was able to establish a very strong economy for that region just from his own trade and power. Now, how does a 15th century pepper merchant from Kerala have a descendant of who's an Italian American soldier? To understand that, we understand Itticora's legacy. Francis Itticora wanted to create his own lineage, and for that he had 18 wives from all around the world and 70 plus children from them. He named his lineage Padinettam Kootugar. Padinettam is 18th, Kootugar is clan, tribe, or even cult. Now, the reason he wanted to do that was he wanted to propagate Hypatia's learnings through his own lineage. And he kind of collected or formulated all of that into certain customs and practices. If these were followed strictly, his lineage, people of his lineage, they were able to attain immense amount of wealth and power in any field that they do. However, there were many conditions and stipulations, and one of them was that of secrecy. These customs or practices were not to be told to anyone outside of the Padinettam Kootugar clan. This is what Rekha and her friends stumble into when they start uncovering the story of Francis Itticora. Now, while Rekha and her friends are on their own fact-finding mission, Xavier Itticora is on his own adventure on the other side of the world. He and his friend Hashimoto Morigami, who is a mathematician from Princeton University, they travel to Peru for certain reasons. From there, they have to go to a few cities in Europe. Now, Morigami is fascinated by the name Itticora because she's come across this name in quite a few historical mathematics documents. So she's on her own fact-finding mission with regards to that. Now, the author T D Ramakrishnan, what he's trying to do over here is he's weaving these stories to showcase more about the Kerala school of mathematics. To go into too much details is beyond the scope of this video. However, in short, what he's trying to achieve show is that many theorems and problems solved by European mathematicians were actually solved by mathematicians in South India a few hundred years, before that. Although these were never written down or put down as documents, they were more verbally or orally solved through Sanskrit slogans. It was a very interesting read to try and learn about this. I don't know the exact truth behind all of it, but it was extremely fascinating to read about it and hear about it. Now, as the story progresses, the fact-finding missions of both parties culminate in Kunnamkulam in Kerala. Rekha and her friends find out how extremely dangerous Padinettam Kootugar really are, and at the risk of bringing out spoilers, I am not going to go into any further detail. This book is an exciting read. It is T D Ramakrishnan has woven this pretty complicated thread of stories, but for someone who likes history, who enjoys reading about history, this book will give you a rich reading experience. Now, in saying that, I also have to give a warning to any future readers that there are some extremely disturbing content as well in this book. Especially right in the beginning of the book, there are some pretty disturbing scenes which are hard to get through. But that was the experience that T D Ramakrishnan wanted to give a reader. He wanted to bring in everything. He did not want to pull any stops. I believe when this book was first released, there were some controversies regarding with questions relating to morality. But I think the author's response was, love it or hate it, I just want people to, get hooked onto a book and a story, which I think he's done a good job of. Now, for those of you who are interested in reading this book, the Malayalam version was published by DC Books originally in 2009. They brought out an English translation in 2012. I have not read the English translation, so I cannot comment on it. There is an audiobook version available on the Storytel app as well. Now, as always, thank you so much for listening. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment sections below, and thank you for your time.